The 12 Australians who were made Commander of the Order of Australia, the highest honour, includes former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd.
今天晚上他邀请我到这儿来发表演讲 and thank you Josette for your kind invitation to be here this evening.
Recognising his contribution in political life as a diplomat and as a contributor to international political and economic development. Long-serving former President of the ACTU, Sharon Burrow, has also been made a companion. Former Australian Ambassador to the United States, Dennis Richardson's long service as a public administrator has included terms as Director of ASIO and the Defence Department.
There was always a place at our table for someone who had no place to go.
Also becoming a companion of the Order is Ita Buttrose, instantly recognisable, but Ita also serves the community as an ambassador for many health organisations caring for the elderly and the young. New companions of the Order include Professor James Burke, recognised for his work with spinal and brain trauma injury, and Professor Ruth Bishop for research into global child and paediatric health, as well as Professor Alan Cowman for his internationally recognised research in biological science, and Emeritus Professor Leo Radum for his contribution to science in computational chemistry, and Emeritus Professor Mari Smith for her pioneering research into neuropathic pain and as a role model for gender equality. News Corp Group Executive for Corporate Affairs Campbell Reid is credited with successfully guiding the company through the upsets of the digital revolution, described as the most challenging decade in the industry's history. Mr. Reid also took on a leadership role in negotiations that resulted in reforms to media legislation to take the industry into the post-internet era. His career with News Corp spans 30-plus years, during which he's held editorial and management roles and mentored hundreds of journalists and junior executives. He's been admitted to the Order of Australia to mark his significant service to the media industry.
Sort of almost as if the most important time for journalism and people of my generation is right now, in that we know how wonderful journalism is and the role it plays in society, and the need now to secure the role of professional journalism in the future. That's really the responsibility that I carry most strongly, and I believe that the world is recalibrating its attitudes back towards trusted journalism and trusted sources, and I think that's not going to happen by accident, and we need to preserve the profession for as long as we can.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Superstar Hugh Jackman's also been made a companion of the Order for his service to the performing arts, but also for his work in the eradication of poverty around the world.
Are you in?
Also becoming companions of the Order are the Honourable Dr. Annabel Bennett, Judge in the Federal Court and in the Court of Arbitration in Sport, and Emeritus Professor John Finnis for his role as a leading jurist and academic. 69 Australians are now officers of the Order, including child abuse prevention campaigner Rosemary Batty. Ms Batty is the chair of Victoria's Victim Survivors Advisory Council and is a member of the Family Violence Steering Committee, and set up the Luke Batty Foundation in memory of her lost son. Nicola Forrest, the wife of mining magnate Twiggy Forrest, has been admitted as an officer of the Order in recognition of her support for the arts, business and the community. Women who have made a significant impact on Australian political life: Claire Martin, journalist, and the first woman to become Chief Minister in the Northern Territory, and Natasha Stott Despoja, former Australian Democrat Senator, the youngest woman ever to enter Parliament, each become officers of the Order. Former owner of the hardware giant Bunnings, Gavin Bunning, has been honoured for his service to industry and charitable institutions. From the sporting fields, legendary broadcaster Ken Sutcliffe, the male model from Mudgee, receives recognition.
Thurston hooking it back. Boy, it's a thing of beauty.
Jonathan Thurston's long rugby league career and his post-retirement work with young Indigenous children sees him awarded with entry into the Order, as well as Melbourne Storm stalwart, Queensland and Australian captain Cameron Smith.
Cameron Smith goes over.
And from the AFL, Peggy O'Neill became the first female football club president, when she took the reins of the Richmond team. Ms O'Neill's been honoured for her contribution to business, football and the advancement of women in leadership roles. Terry Galloway, Sky News.